Hello, my friends. Your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi is here. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your kind and wonderful words for yesterday on YouTube and Facebook. I've learned much from last night, though. I'm okay, though. Actually, I am okay. I am better from last night um, than more than I can say. You see, after everything had basically quieted down, I figured I should go get some air, walk, and just go on a bus ride. And so I did. I did go on a bus ride down to the shopping center, and I think I had to admit to this, but I said this to the guys on Discord, but I'm gonna also say this. Yesterday I had chest pains, and I had them since 8:30 yesterday. I don't have them now. It's not as bad as it was yesterday because I felt I couldn't breathe. So it's nothing to really worry about. It's just, I think it's just the after effect of what happened. And because, she was or is the most important thing in my life, and she's the reason why I'm a Let's Player and a reviewer and an author and so many other things. As many have said to me, it'll take some time till the pain goes away. It's more a spiritual kind of pain than anything else. Because physically, I can feel it, but it's not like hurting as much as it does the spirit. However, as far as I know, last night when I went out, my cousin took me around, shared with me a bit of lore about my mom, and from what I was told, she is a wonderful lady. She was such a wonderful lady. She is the type of person that would help in any way she can. The type of person that basically would not turn away from anyone. She allowed um, my friend Sean a place to stay until he got himself straightened out. Because he went through the same thing years ago. He had lost his mother too, and he had nowhere else to turn but, well, me. So stayed at my house and, well, managed to help him. And then after that, after he was well enough to move on, we took him to the airport and off he went to Connecticut. So therefore, that's one of the things that was so beautiful about my mom. She basically helped anyone. And like I said, one of the main things I was listening to last night was there was so much lore about her. It was just crazy. I even went as far as I didn't go that far. I just went up to like say almost up to Bowen Hills just to visit one of Mom's old friends. Um, and these were people that I don't know about. Okay, so a family friend of a family friend, and therefore he was sharing with me what she did in life, and never seen each other before, never. So therefore, after all this, basically, it was just that she was such a great person in life, and the only thing I can say is I can only aim to be just as good as my mom was. So when I got home from my ride last night, I did decide to go ahead and just go ahead and do some recordings. So ahead of time, what I did was I did a bit of Samurai Warriors 2. I was doing the Sakon Shima campaign, and mind you, I've already pre-recorded most of the campaigns I've been working on so far. So therefore, I've been quite busy. So by then, I'd say maybe when February comes in, or I'm gonna say at least February, you might get to see that campaign in progress, because I didn't have much to say after that, and like I said, I feel better if I was working on something. I really do. I really feel better if I was working on something. So, for what it was worth, and I am deleting some files off my hard drive. For what it was worth, I'm actually glad I've done what I did last night, which was that Miss Pac-Man video. And truth be told, for what I said, yeah. If not for her, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. So therefore, she in a way is a huge influence on my life, because, well, she really is. And for what it's worth, I'm glad that she made such an impact on my life, to where I can simply say thank you. I could have been another statistic on the street. I could have been out there on the street. I could have been a gangbanger. I could have been a drug runner. I could have been so many other things that was basically, a statistic. And I didn't. I mean, sure, I went through some stuff. Mainly, well, pretty much this. This is what I went through. And I know if I show this on, I know if I show this on my camera, it will show like the right side because it mirrors. But yeah, with what I've been going through with my cerebral palsy, that was the main thing that I had gone. That was the only issue I ever had going through, growing up, with technically me dealing with cerebral palsy. That was the only battle I have ever had to deal with. And a lot I basically was just upset with because I didn't like myself. I didn't. I, I, I really felt like I was like the ugliest thing on earth because of my disability. I don't think I ever said this on camera like I'm saying this right now to you guys. I mean, I mentioned my disability, but I never mentioned it in full. I've only mentioned it like in small inklets, but not as much as right now. And to say that, I mean, my background, I basically worked with, when I was in school, I basically went to, special ed classes. And the special ed classes, they basically were like, where all the kids with development issues go. Mine was kind of a development issue because, well, like I said, I had cerebral palsy, so therefore it was hard for me to sometimes express myself. Especially now, when I think about it, some of the videos that had long pauses, it usually happened when I'm just stressed out. Sometimes when I don't really speak so much, I'm really that stressed out. I can't really just, I really can't just keep going and going like I'm doing right now. Sometimes I get stressed out to where I draw a blank. And I mean, I draw a blank like this long. And for some people out there, they feel annoyed with it. But then again, like I said, it's a disability. I have side effects. And one of the side effects is I tend to somehow draw a blank. And I don't mean to draw a blank. It just happens. But I can also say that another thing about my disability is that I know I have it, but I don't let it have me. I know that I'm more developed because of a lot of training. And what I mean about training is that, let's say this. I basically went through a lot of training to do something like this. To squeeze it the best way I can. To squeeze this rubber tomato the best way I can. And for what it's worth, it does help. Now I face many issues being being like this. And I could say, like, out of the many disabled Let's Players out there, I know a few that have done their damnedest just to actually make a living. I'm one of these people that actually attempt to make a living. So you may say, well, you know, you're so. I mean, I've heard Sheena tell me sometimes that I sound so normal. Trust me, I am far from being normal. I may sound normal, I may act normal, but I am far, far, far from being normal. I've been through so much shit in my life. And we're not even talking about what I went through in Japan. I mean, I went through so much shit in life just because I got mocked, ridiculed, bullied. And it was only because of my left side. Only because I basically had to use a lot of focus to walk, to keep my left side down. Because really and truly, I walked like this. I walked with this all the way up here. Like if I was to turn on my side, yeah, I walked like this. I don't know why, but it just happened because it was out of habit. But I don't walk like this no more. I walk like this, with my arm straight down. Okay. But growing up in dealing with public school, yeah, that was a challenge. And even in high school, when going through, say, tracks, I went through track C. Well, not track C, track B. That's where all the special ed kids go. They go to track B. They also went by um they also went by your zip. So I'm like 90044. So therefore, oh, you go to track B because you're 90044. If you were in track A, oh, you were an honor student. So it didn't take me that long for them to notice, oh, this guy's smart. Why is he in this track? We should put him in track A. They bumped me into track A. So, truth be told, my mom has been there for me for a long time because I did start a Let's Play and I did speak about one of the things I had a problem with, which was my lisp. And one of the things was when I was a kid, I had this problem with saying th. I said th. And in a Let's Play that I hadn't even finished doing because I was so busy with everything else. I might just post that today just to say I did a part of it, and for what it was worth, it just says a lot. So yeah, I might just post a lot of Samurai Warrior stuff over this weekend. But she really didn't impact on my life. She really impacted my life because she not only taught me to play video games, she not only taught me how to sing, she straightened out my lisps. She homeschooled me. See, I was homeschooled before I went to actual school. So, I went through flashcards, I went through phonics. Yeah, I was one of them hooked on phonics kids, okay? I went through DARE, okay? And one moment, let me check the time. Okay, I'm good. I got 5 minutes. I went through a lot. Believe me, I went through a lot. And without her love, her guidance, I mean, even when she got older, and when she could still basically walk and talk, she still kept an interest in what I did. That's a beautiful thing. She always kept an interest in what I did. She took me down to Funko Land back in the day when there was a Funko Land. I'm not sure about now. She took care of a situation in which basically there didn't need to be a situation. So she did take care of it. Um, I remember two issues that she basically stepped in and made somewhat of a divine intervention. She said there was one time in high school that this computer science teacher that I had problems with, he gave me an F. She came to my class one day, and I was wondering what was going on. She just looked at me. She just told me to go on. I think it was around lunchtime when that happened, but she went there. She went to his classroom, and she must have told him off something fierce. Something so fierce that made him just cringe to the point in which he'd call me Mister. And to me, I'm like, what? No, seriously, it's like it was a weird feeling because whatever she said to him really just put the fear of God into him. And there's another moment in which we were at Funko Land and I had picked a few video games. They said they didn't have. It was for Saturn, and she basically came in there. Well, she was in there, but she went straight to the clerk and she said, "My son asked for these two games. You don't have them? Well, what do you have?" Just look, and I was there when she said that. I'm like, damn, my mom's a badass. In my head. And now a friend of mine, his name is Joe, Multikiller Joe. He followed me on Twitch not too long ago. I got the notification. Anyway, he said before I started actually recording the parts I was doing, he said, "Damn, your mom's a badass." And now that I think about it, yeah, she was a badass. She kept an interest in what I did. She didn't mind looking at me, watching me. I mean, a lot of things I never thought she'd actually do, but she watched me. She even tried Wii Fit. She even tried watching an anime. The little things she did in between all the big things she did. She worked just as hard as my dad did. And now that I think about it, she's happier now. I know she's happier now. I'm happier now because she's no longer suffering like she was doing for the last couple of years. A lot can happen within a short time. But I can clearly say, I'm proud to be her son. And I'm proud to be a Let's Player. And an author. And a teacher. And I really do thank her for keeping me on the path that I enjoy being on. So, I don't know about you guys, but I think that was a lot to take in. So my apologies if it seemed a little long. But it was a lot to say. And I felt the need to share my personal feelings about what has been going on with me and what kind of influence she really made for me. And again, my thanks to you guys out there for your words of condolences and support and everything else. You guys are wonderful. And what I'm